Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I'm Ergo Corvus. Wow, the game is completely silent. That's great. Last time we were in an operating room and we played with dummies. We made some horrible, like, Frankenstein dummies to do, like, a weight puzzle. But anyway, we got out. We left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors, but they were all locked. Well,
every door in this place is locked up tight.
Exactly.
How about that one?
I guess we could try out the novel screen a little more. The final door was hidden in a corner of the hall. Also, I like if I just leave this here, will they just be walking forever? Just... They're still gone.
May as well give it a try.
Junpei grabbed the handle. As he made to push it open, a voice stopped him. The voice came from behind him and belonged to neither Seven nor Clover.
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. He saw someone running toward him from the other end of the hallway. There were 3 people coming toward Junpei and his companions.
June? And Santa? And Lotus too?
They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard.
Whoa! What the hell is this?
What are you doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys! Could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Look on the wall here.
There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck. So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the nonary game works.
I see.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. Hey, could this lead to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
Oh!
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. Is that like... Wait, let me see.
We may as well go. Yeah.
They moved as one for the door.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke, without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
Slowly, all 5 nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. Ho 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 ho! They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back. In the hospital room.
So
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying.
yeah, hey Ace. So Ace didn't really need to sacrifice himself after all?
The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
Just curious.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile,
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
7 smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Oh, the solar system keys. Actually, we found one in the laboratory too. Here, the Earth key.
Lotus dug out a still warm key with an Earth symbol on it.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah. On it.
You're the protagonist, you can hold all the inventory. And with that, she pressed it into Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored.
Now we have 3 keys that we haven't used yet.
Yeah. The Jupiter key that we found in the operating room. The Saturn key card we found in the kitchen. And the Earth key Lotus just gave me.
Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at 7 as hard as she could just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. 7 looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So 7, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh? Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 plus 1 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what lay beyond door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
7 nodded, as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened, and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. 6, 7, 8... After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. Inside was exactly what he expected to see, from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
No idea.
You know, that's a good question.
Junpei looked off into the distance thoughtfully. Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I can't believe this. You guys followed me here, but you don't even know why? Junpei, you've got the solar system keys, don't you?
Yeah.
He did. He pulled them out.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key.
What about him?
Junpei didn't see what they had to do with anything, though. Both he and Santa were completely lost. Fortunately, June took pity on them.
Don't you remember the elevator? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So the two keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. Yes, good recap, thank you. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these, so don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the two teams split it up. Wait, split it up? Wouldn't it just be split up? Whatever. Junpei and June headed for the elevator.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator?
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of being locked up alone with a boy, or they could only go down. Being alone with the boy, I guess. Because, I mean, we've seen she clearly has a crush on Jumpy. So maybe she's just nervous. She's got the anime nervousness. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy.
Well, we will be all alone in here.
In a way, it was kinda cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was.
Jumpy?
Huh? Oh, nothing. It's not important. Come on, let's go.
Again, he stepped toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said wait a minute.
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never...
Been on an elevator?
You know.
It's your first time?
On an elevator? She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before. Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
Oh god.
What?
Down there. I'd get soaking wet.
This fucking game.
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works.
Jumpy.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind
Mind what?
getting wet?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know?
You're not talking about the same thing.
What happens, happens, right? I mean, if you get the chance, you've just got to go for it. That's what a man is supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long.
Oh my god.
And then it'll be over.
Over?
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space, and your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too. Although I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it. Eventually.
Oh my god.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Oh, is that so?
Then it's only natural? Is that what's natural for living beings? Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. Jun seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. Huh.
Oh.
Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what Jun was trying to say, and why she was so scared.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks. Congrats on getting first, Grezzy.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading
Let me just check if this is working. Yeah.
to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Just checking. Okay. Making sure that's working.
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside.
Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Tested.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen. See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, all right?
But...
Come on, just do it, all right?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped onto the elevator. He pushed the E button, and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap. It closed.
The door had shut, he and June were in the elevator, and it was headed down to E deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
The elevator stopped and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish. What? Or at least something that looked very much like one? June's cheeks were puffed out, and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded.
Oh, she was just like holding her breath?
Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then exhaled.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment.
Well, we'd probably get really wet up there.
Huh?
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay, good idea.
Now then.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time having a little sexual misunderstanding. Took up a lot of time. Junpei glanced around the room they'd found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then maybe...
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening.
Well,
He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
it looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Okay. Very specific. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall, right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the two of us.
We better head back and let everyone
Just
know.
the two of us. We can't open the door. Just the two of us.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck.
Wait, what's this?
On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Is
Get a
this
lot
the
of-
map for E-Deck?
Get a lot of maps in this episode.
I should take it with me. Huh, so you guys found door 1.
They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently, there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck, beyond the door that the Earth key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. Huh. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing. Hi, Moon. How's it going?
Yeah?
Nya? I think that's what Junpei said. He said nya. Nya? Did it work? There we go.
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
You only know getting. Yes, thank you. Thank you for revealing my true form again. Jun looked up at Junpei with large pleading eyes. Nya?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, whoa.
Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1.
Just kidding. All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7.
7?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we probably should have discussed this plan before we just let them go into the room. Should have been like, okay, while you guys do that, we're gonna go, look around. Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace. although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. Did they find her brother? For a long moment they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at 7.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead.
Snake!
He died, just as the 9th man did.
It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All 3 were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god. That's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait! Not that way!
What? Why not?
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room. The left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall.
This wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach.
Ooh.
He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
They didn't have to wonder where the body was.
There.
There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But...
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder, as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, okay? Turned and walked toward the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. I'm just curious. Without all this description, it's just...
Just like Ace said.
Yeah. Oh gee, yeah, that's a lot of detail that gets skipped. Maybe we'll try to do the rest in the novel mode, since we get a lot more detail. A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Oh, Jesus. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails, like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it. Jesus Christ. This is horrible. Just like Ace said. Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Yeah, maybe, like, okay, you confirmed he's dead. You know, you don't have to keep looking. Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. Well, that was horrible. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. Is that... Makes your teeth curl? Whatever. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it. Alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door.
Well, doesn't it activate... I guess... Does it not, like, start until you go through the door? Oh, yeah, because they did test it out. Yeah.
And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis.
Who would be the 2 people that would be able to make that number?
We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
No, 2 of us, June. Keep up.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Hi, Tiraf. It is 999.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
Could be all of us, yeah. We all killed Snake.
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Tiraf, you said, have I played this or have any knowledge? I have seen somebody play the whole game. So I do know everything that happens, but that was like 10 years ago. That was like one of the first streams I watched, actually, which is funny. It was somebody playing 999. Yeah, so I don't like remember all the details, but I do know basically what happens.
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship.
The power of friendship.
Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself.
I was gonna say, oh boy, this game looks calm. Oh, I know. Oh yeah, and I've also played the second game, and then I watched somebody play the third game, so I've actually seen the whole series.
If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero.
I don't know, it gets even more complicated after this. Virtue's Last Reward is just like, oh my god, it's so much, it's so much. I don't know if I'll even end up streaming that one. I might just stream this one, we'll see. I might just leave it at that. Because if I remember right, I think this one ends with like a pretty decent conclusion to it. And then like Virtue's Last Reward ends with like a cliffhanger, so then you have to do the third one. So it's like I feel like for now I'm just doing the first game. Because it's like, it kind of works on its own. I did enjoy Virtue's Last Reward, though. I liked a lot of the twists and stuff in it. It's also like a moment with some really great music, but anyway. It's super spoilery, so I won't say. But anyway.
He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered... It's been a while since I had some narrator text.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Wasn't sure? Or of course. You know, I'm just gonna be confident. Yeah. Of course he was. Duh. That was obvious.
But I don't...
Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. He's in the walls. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought.
Where could Zero be hiding?
I'm right behind you. That's not what Zero sounds like. Suddenly everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting, moaning noise. Oh no, we're getting ghosted. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Terrif. Well, I think we had like the video at the beginning or whatever where he talks with like, you know, the Bane voice changer or whatever. And it's like, I'm Zero. I think, if I remember right. Every human body in the room froze. That's a weird way to phrase that. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? I mean, again, you're kind of assuming, but... I mean, you're right, but you're assuming... Was he one of them? Wait, huh? Wait, what do you mean by was he one of them? What do you mean, huh? Wait. Wait, eyes dart... One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who... Oh, was Zero one of them? I thought he was... I was really... I thought the he was referring to Junpei, and I was like, what? Let's continue just being confident, Junpei. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Clover looked up at Junpei, and her face fell.
You don't believe me.
Uwu. Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong. But perhaps the way he'd said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. God. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. Yeah, player. Why did you choose that option? Sorry, game. I'm sorry. He felt ashamed of what he'd said. Perhaps he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin...
Clover,
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
But you have to understand, the more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time her eyes were on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then, in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Better stop fucking standing around and talking.
Then we need to move now.
Gotta solve some puzzles.
7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
Seven and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something else very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
Okay.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right. Here it is.
It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen, between the two elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the two of us, but let's do our best.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh. First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
That's a dry
there it is.
elevator.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Guess we just have to bottom. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. Sounds correct here. Tara, if you missed the wonderful elevator discussion. I don't know if you remember from when you've seen it or played it before. It was a thing. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. But not a regular dead end.
Hey, over there.
This is a numbered door.
I think you remember, yeah, where there's just a big misunderstanding about getting wet. It's a lot. It was a lot.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room, doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
Yeah, Tira, if you remember. Yeah. We found all of them except for door 9. Wait. Oh, yeah. Now door 2.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June. Gotta decide which door to go in, though.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground, next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook, in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why had they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
Alright, let's open these up.
Is Junpei actually being crafty for once?
The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
That's the first time anyone has said, we don't have time for that, I feel like, in this entire game. The first time somebody has said no in response to, would you like me to explain? He opened the second one.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
What?
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But... no.
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I'm not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
I am a grandma, however, thank you.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
My god, 7, stop.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
7 and Lotus, you both kind of suck recently. Wait, are they doing like a Looney Tunes fight scene where they're like a cloud of dust right now?
Oh, not good.
Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head. Nice poem.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
Okay. This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This was the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
This was the door on E deck and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down.
Then the door I should choose is...
It took him less than a second to run the numbers. Wow, Junpei's good with math, I guess. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Ah, see, yeah, this is his plan, is he didn't write anything. He's just lying. Fuck. Okay. I mean... So wait, I'm curious. Hold on, wait. So 1 and 4? That'll make them 5. What's Junpei again? He's 5. Okay, yeah, so that would make 10, so that would work. Would it work for all of them, I wonder, somehow? 7 and 8 is... Sorry, I can't run the numbers in less than a second like Junpei can. 7 and 8 is 15, and then Junpei is 5, right? So 20. Wow, that works too, huh? Interesting. Santa and June? Okay, June is 6. What's Santa's 7? Wait. I can't remember. I think. So 6 and 7, 13 plus 5, 18. Well, that wouldn't work, right? So that'll be 9. Unless the 6th door is actually 9 upside down or some shit. So I think he can't go with Santa and June. That's like the only invalid option, I think. Right? Santa is 7, right? Because the dead man was 9, right? And Snake was 2, I think. I can't remember. Wait, who was 3? I can't. It's it's complicated. No, wait, Santa's 3. Yeah, because like San, like in Japanese. Right? Like Ichini-san. Yeah. So wait, 3 and 6 is 9 plus 5 would be 14. So no, wait, that doesn't work either. Right? Am I... Yeah. Yeah, duh. I was saying Santa was 7, but obviously 7 is 7. Anyway. You don't know which I'm trying to figure out like which combinations of people can go through the doors. You know, the whole digital route thing. Shit, I mean, which door do I want then? I mean, like, as far as just what Junpei would want, I think he would want to go with June, right? So it would be door 6. But that's also the only number combination that doesn't work. Shit. I mean, what happens if we choose door 6 then? I'm curious.
I want to go through door 6.
Junpei flipped open the piece of paper. It read Junpei, door 6. Of course it did. He'd written it after all.
That's a problem.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Jun spoke barely above a whisper, but they all knew what she'd said.
None of these teams will be able to go through the doors they want.
Yeah.
Clover and I chose door 1.
Lotus and I chose door 2.
That's not enough people to open a numbered door, however.
The digital routes don't match up either.
We've got similar problems. Junpei and I want to go through door 6, but our digital route is 5. If we're gonna open that door, we need a 1.
Damn, what are we gonna do now?
What are we going to do?
Because, yeah, we need to split up into a group of 4 and a group of 3. Junpei crossed his arms and did his best to put his thoughts in order. The others followed suit, but with little result. We're all dumb as hell. Eventually, Clover broke the silence.
Why don't Seven and Lotus go through door 1? With me.
Her face was cold and flat, as was her voice, but her logic was sound. Seven and Lotus looked at each other. 7 plus 8 plus 4 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. The first problem resolved, Ace spoke up.
What about me?
Isn't that obvious? Wasn't one of the teams just complaining that they didn't have a 1?
Oh yeah.
You mean I should join Santa's team?
Yes.
Yeah, that would work. Clover nodded, her face still cold and emotionless. Her attitude and posture could not have been more different than the energetic girl of only a few hours before. No one seemed ready to contradict her. Her response was understandable, given the horrible situation in which she had found herself. But even so...
Huh. I understand. I'll go through door 6 then. If we do as Clover has suggested, we can all pass through a numbered door and no one will be left behind. This seems to be the most reasonable solution.
3 plus 6 yeah,
Seven,
yeah.
Lotus, what do you guys think?
I don't have a problem with it.
Me either.
Alright then, we're good to go.
See you later.
Wait, Clover! Don't move on your own!
Oh, I'll be going too then.
Yeah, be careful.
We should get going as well.
So this will be the first time we get to hang out with Ace in a puzzle room. At last, Junpei and the other 6 had managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to A deck, where door 1 was, near the main staircase. Junpei, June, Ace, and Santa, however... Oh, I have to cough. Hold on. Let me drink some water. Okay. Been doing a lot more talking with the novel version. The ride to E-Deck was a silent one.
This is E-Deck.
There should be a door at the end of the hall.
All right, let's go.
Santa's words jolted them to action, and they stepped out of the elevator into a long, straight hallway. Before long, they arrived in front of door 6. Hold on, I am curious. Can we look at the flowchart? Okay, yeah, we can see. There were 3 choices from that point. We can also see back here there were 3 choices. I don't remember which part that would be. That would be, I guess, when we're in the hospital room and deciding which door to do. Interesting.
Here it is. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Then let's get to it.
I do enjoy Jumpy's voice actor. I like how a lot of times when he has a line, it's just, yeah. Just the way he says it, he's just like, yeah. He's like, yeah, brah. I don't know. I enjoy it. One by one, they put their palms over the red. With a soft electronic noise, it authenticated each of them. The door opened. And all at once, the 4 of them leapt through it.
Hey, I found it! It's right there!
Fortunately, the dead was located easily enough. This one had been placed quite close to the door they'd entered through. They gathered around it quickly, and hurriedly placed their palms on it for authentication one by one. Yay! Huh.
It stopped.
Yes, it stopped.
It stopped. Oh, I thought everybody was going to say it stopped. The countdown had ceased, but Junpei's heart was still pounding in his chest, like a frantic, thunderous drum. It felt as though it might shake itself up and out of his throat.
Whew. I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
You got that right. Once I'm out of this hellhole, I'm taking a nice long vacation.
I agree.
Just not on a ship, probably. Not on a cruise ship. Had enough of that. With that, the doom and gloom from before was done, and the mood turned somewhat lighter.
Alright, let's go.
Let's solve some puzzles. With that attempt at good humor, Junpei took a deep breath and began to walk. He jogged down the stairs at the end of the hallway and found himself staring at a large door. Can we actually look at, like, where we are? Wait. Yeah, we're at E-Deck? Oh. Never mind.
This door looks heavy.
But it's not locked. I'm opening it.
How can you tell by looking at it? Whatever. He took hold of the bar that served as its doorknob and shoved it down. The room beyond stopped him in his tracks. It was gargantuan and made entirely of metal. None of the accents of wood or tile he'd seen in the rest of the ship. This room was purely functional, but utterly tremendous.
Whoa, what the hell is this?
Santa got out a few words before awe stole the rest of them. The rest were too stunned to offer anything more than gasps.
This has to be the biggest room so far. The ceiling is pretty high, too.
Huh. Could be 2 stories, maybe even more.
This space could be utilizing the entire length of the ship.
What's that huge Kamaboko-looking building in the middle?
June pointed to the massive building in the center.
Kamaboko? Well, I guess that's as good of a description of it as any.
Junpei and the others were standing on scaffolding that crisscrossed the entire area. The proper term was catwalk, Junpei thought, although that didn't seem particularly important.
I see stairs, so we may as well head over to them.
Like, thanks, narrator.
Yeah, but this section's barely wide enough to fit one person.
You're right.
Nearby was a long iron staircase that made its way eventually to the floor beneath them.
Whoa, you can't even tell the shape when you're this close.
Let's check out the other side, too.
They moved around toward the opposite side of the massive building, following the catwalk. It's weird to me that they're describing something as a building when it's inside. Like, I would say machine, or like container. They hadn't said much as they walked, but as they approached the building, Ace suddenly spoke up.
This looks to be the steam engine room.
The steam engine room?
The steam engine room.
Yes, that thing that looks like a cross-section of a mushroom is the boiler. Do you see the 3 round doors near the bottom? Coal is put into those and burned, which heats the water, producing steam. The same thing that drives a steam engine. This one is simply somewhat larger.
I see.
It doesn't appear to be running right now.
The entire room was as silent as the grave.
Alright, let's split up.
Then all of a sudden, Junpei heard a noise behind him. He turned just in time to see June collapse to her knees.
Hey, what's wrong? Are you alright?
He dashed toward her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders to steady her.
Hey, June.
It was then that he noticed...
Jumpy.
You... Oh, you're really warm. Is your fever coming back?
Yes, it probably is. But I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me.
I have anime sickness.
I just need to rest. And I'll be fine.
Her voice was weak and forced, and it said a great deal more than her words did.
Okay, here, sit down, careful.
Junpei carried her to the nearest wall and propped her up against it. She let her head fall back against the wall, as if she no longer had the strength to support it, and drew a ragged breath.
Thank you.
Tear off the anime mom disease, oh no. She almost has an anime mom haircut. Almost. She doesn't have, like, the braid thing. Her eyes were empty, as if she was having trouble focusing them, and even speaking seemed difficult for her. Junpei felt his hand ball itself into a fist, and he punched her, and clenched tight, his knuckles whitening. He had to find a way out, and quickly. He turned and looked at Ace and Santa, in turn. Okay.
Ace, Santa.
Yes.
Right.
Left. They might not have shared the depth of his emotion, but they certainly shared his concern.
Alright, let's get started. Hang in there, June. I'm gonna get you out of here real soon.
She managed a small nod before leaning back to rest her head on the wall. Alright. Time for a puzzle. Let's go. Seek a way out. Steam engine room. That sure is a map. I'd say this is probably here to move coal from place to place. That's my Ace voice. I don't. It probably comes from over there. And then the belt carries it down the tunnel and out here. So if the conveyor belt was moving, yes, the coal would almost certainly come out here. Okay. It's a square hole. Nothing in here. Ah, look at the back wall there. I could see 3 small slots. Terminals for some sort of connector, perhaps. You mean you think we're supposed to plug something in here? Perhaps. Button? Look at that button. It's glowing orange, right? That's gotta mean something. I guess pressing it is the best way to find out if it does anything, Santa. Huh. Nothing. Well, great. What else we got? It's a gold wheel? A golden gear. Metal gear! Sorry, it doesn't look like it was always golden like this. Well then, I imagine it was prepared especially for this game. 999? Oh, right, the nonary game. It looks like there's a door over here, in this tunnel. The belt over there must deliver the coal, which is then picked up and thrown into this door. Oop, hold on. Something like blinked for a second, just making sure everything's still working. Looks okay. The door appears to be welded shut, however. Great. This is the huge oven for this boiler. There are 3 open areas in it. Each of the open areas has a gear in it. Okay. There are a bunch of wooden boxes over here by the wall. I already looked through those. There's nothing there. Great. Just video game crates. There's a pair of wooden boxes here. There's nothing in them. Great. Look, Ace. It's some kind of snowman secret meeting. Those are just bags full of sand. You use them as a counterweight when you're lifting something with a pulley system. Man, you're too serious. Why so serious? What is this? Given its placement, this must unlock the door to the left. There's a weird indentation on the top of this thing. You think that means you have to insert something here? Yes, I would imagine so. Great. There's a thick iron door blocking our way. You think this is... Yes. It looks like the exit. Looks like this door slides up into the ceiling. Okay. We found the exit. Great job. Mission accomplished. Alright, where else do I go? Here, how do I get to, like, upstairs? Okay, okay. Okay. This slider is down. Well, let's see if I can get this thing to go anywhere. Ah, man. No dice. This thing isn't going anywhere. Okay, none of these move. The slider is down. Looks like Santa wants to give this one a shot. Ah, damn it. Nothing. This thing won't budge. What about this? Ace, you want to try one? The slider is down. I guess Ace feels like giving it a try. Nothing. It won't move at all. What about the last one? The 3 sliders on the left are down, but this one is up. There are a number of lines engraved in these. I suspect we are meant to do something rather specific with them. Junpei, why don't you move that slider down? Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. Nothing. Nothing happened. Maybe it needs to be prepared somehow. You're saying if we did something somewhere else, it'd respond somehow? Yes, I suppose that's one way of putting it. Okay. These 2 columns are different from the others. The lights are red. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of lights here. Most of them are yellow, except for 2 columns on the right. Alright. One of the doors on the furnace. There's an A on it. There's a circular wheel in the center of the door. Alright, let's give this sucker a twist. Well, it's noisy, but it opens. And it's totally pitch black in there. We should, go in here? Alright. Let's go. Wait, oh. This looks just like the door we went into. Where are we? We must be on the other side, yes? Which would put us directly above the conveyor belt. At any rate, we should keep moving. There's a great deal we've yet to investigate. Alright. So, wait, we have like a whole nother room? Oh, I see. Yeah, we were like, this thing is in the middle, we're here. Okay. There's C. Did they all just... Now we're over here. Okay. There's a lot going on. It looks like a hand-operated winch. But it doesn't look like there's any way to, operate it. That means the wheel isn't attached. We gotta find it. It's a Resident Evil puzzle. This damn pile of boxes is blocking my way. Damn boxes. Wait, oops. Yeah. Okay, we can't really do anything else here. We just go through. Okay. I see. The catwalk. Great. There are a number of boxes on the catwalk. I don't think we can go over there. Great. So we can't really do anything on this side, right? Like looking around. Like, what if we go through this door? Oops, a huge furnace for a bigger boiler. There are 3 doors in it. Yep. Okay. Oh. Alright, let's give this wheel a spin. What? That's weird. I don't feel any resistance. Ah! Ah, shit. We broke it. It's a wheel that seems to be part of the winch. There are some pegs on the back that look like they go into the holes on the winch. Good job, genius. You broke it. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. A hand-operated winch. The wheel it once had is now in my hand. Let's see if I can get it back on. There's a couple of posts on the back of it that look like they fit into the holes on the winch. Damn, no good. These little shafts are too small for this big hole. Junpei. Phrasing. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, to be honest. Junpei. If that's the case, then that wheel wasn't originally part of this winch. Then that means I didn't break it after all. Told you. Okay. So where was the other one? I guess through the C door? Yeah. Hand-operated winch. There's no wheel to turn. Oh yeah. I've got the wheel. I pulled off the other winch, don't I? Let's see if it fits. Sweet, it's a perfect fit, like they were made for each other. Not shaky at all. Good, I should be able to turn this now. Good work, Junpei. We should be able to haul up the wooden box now. You see, the wooden box. It's under the catwalk. Can you see it? It's hanging from the rope on the winch, isn't it? Why are you talking like... Why are you talking like... I don't know, he's talking like the host in like a children's TV show. Do you see the box? It looks like there's some sort of device in the box. I'm not sure what it is. At any rate, you might as well turn that wheel now. I'm counting on you. Alright, let's do it. I'll turn the wheel. Huh? What's this? What happened? This wheel only turns to the left. It only turns to the left. That means we can't reel up that rope. Yeah. We can only let the rope down. Interesting. I don't think that will be a problem. We will simply need to go downstairs after letting the wooden box down. Okay. I will be counting on you, Junpei. Sure thing. No sweat. Okay.
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Yeah.
He stuck his head out over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box that had only recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt.
June's down over by there.
Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall, as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. She just really sucks. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body.
She doesn't seem to be improving.
Thanks, Ace. Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said what they had all been thinking.
Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know? It'll take time.
He tried desperately to convince himself that what he'd said was true.
What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
Santa's response was confident and certain.
She gets dropped into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know?
Well, no, like, she has, like, a fever. Like, that usually indicates, you know, like, an infection. Like, you don't just get a fever from being like, oh man.
So you're saying
I mean, I guess you
we're
could,
abnormal?
but
Yeah. We're just running around this room, solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual.
like it's some kind of video game or something.
How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs.
Santa snorted in disgust.
A guinea pig? You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
They stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking until Santa turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. Alright, well, we've made some kind of progress. Okay, so I think I want to go through A again. Oh, okay, I guess I have to go through C. And then I can go through A. That lets us down, yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah, there's that the weird lights. Okay, wait. Was that the thing we let down? Yeah. Control panel for something. Great. Ah, it's got the little things. Some kind of machine. Maybe a control panel. Alright. Goes here. Maybe this hole is where the control panel goes. Well, there's only one way to find out. In you go. Dude, you did it. Everything looks alright. Okay, but what do we do now? Why don't you press the button next to it? The orange one? Yes. Alright, I'll do that. Pushing. Twinning. Sweet. All sorts of lights are lighting up on this thing. I love lights. And, oh, yes, I think I just heard something turn on. Oh? What's that? What happened? Junpei, look. The conveyor belt's moving. The conveyor belt? Okay. Well, I guess it's done moving now. There's still a bunch of coal on the belt, though. It looks like a bunch of it got dumped off the end of the belt into that wooden box where we found the control panel. Coal. Coal, huh? Okay. Box filled with the coal. A wooden box full of coal. Guess there's really only one thing we can do with this stuff. Eat it. It's coal. It's shiny and black and coal, like... Great. This pillar goes up toward the ceiling. Great. Okay, we're gonna put the coal in a furnace. This is the huge oven for this boiler. There's a big gear in each of the 3 open areas. I mean, what else was, there's this thing. There's a small door. It's welded shut. Oh, never mind. Oh. A silver gear. Do you think it's made of pure silver? No way. Silver is way too soft to use for a gear. It's gotta be a steel or iron gear that's been coated with silver. Ah. Shouldn't have called it a silver gear then. Shouldn't have got your hopes up. Were you thinking you'd haul this thing back? Nah, but I think 7 could probably carry it, don't you? Okay. Was this one a bronze one? Yeah, huge bronze gear. This has to be important. Small door. It's welded shut. Okay, huh. Oh, we can go further down here? There's a pair of boxes here. Okay, that's nothing. Okay, right, that's the exit. Yeah, we looked there. Wait, huh? Okay, this is just the same thing. It's a little confusing, but okay. This map doesn't really help. Where can I put the coal? Oh, what's this? Hey, Junpei, where are you going? The only thing in there is a closed numbered door. Kinda pointless to go back, huh? Yeah, it sure is. Okay, so that's where we came in. one of the doors on the furnace. Let's see. Okay. Was there... Yeah, what was there? There's nothing really that way. Or, well, yeah, right, there's like nothing really on that side. This is where the winch was. Okay. Or, wait. Let's go through B. Huh. This is the one where we took the wheel from. Okay. I feel like there's nothing else we need to do there. Oh, maybe these lights have something different? A whole bunch of lights here. Slider's locked in place. Nothing happens when I move the slider down. Okay. Winch rope and a hook. There's nothing hanging off it anymore. This is where you put coal in. Oh, I thought I clicked on this. This is where you put coal into the furnace. That's right. I had to look at it earlier, but it's rusted shut, I'm afraid. Oh. Perhaps you should check the other side. Oh. Okay. The other side. Okay. Alright. Hold on. No. I'm clicking on the stairs. Upstairs. Go through. Wait, can we get down to the floor from here? I just thought about that. Wait. Actually, I guess it's not possible. Oh, what's that? Well, anyway, it looks like that's the pipe. Looks like the bottom connects to the conveyor belt housing. Then coal must come out of this pipe onto the conveyor belt. In other words, there must be a great deal of coal in that pipe. Great. Good to know. Yeah, okay, so wait, how can I get on the opposite side of the boiler? Like, I mean, it looks like I can just walk around, right? Am I... Oh, I'm on the opposite side now? Again, I'm really confused about where these camera angles are taking me. Okay. Or... No, wait. No, I am still on the north side. Okay. Can I... The conveyor belt runs into sort of arched tunnel. Oh, okay. Oh, can I, like, get... Well... Huh? Can I get in the tunnel? Goes all the way across the ship. Okay. Yeah, how do I get over there? Oh, okay, I can move this way. No, okay. I'm confused. Hold on. This is where the coal goes, or would go if all three of these things hadn't rusted shut. It's a huge oven. It's a big gear. Yeah. Conveyor belt. Why can't I... The gear's rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. Why can't I go to the other side? Am I just, like, missing a prompt somewhere? But, like... It would be through there, right? Like, I would just go around it? I'm confused. What does the game want from me right now? Huh. Do I need to look at a guide? Yeah, also, what's the deal with the gears? I guess I'm gonna take a look at a guide, because I just don't understand what the game wants from me. You don't remember the puzzles at all, Tirif? Yeah, me neither. Aside from, like, maybe the first couple rooms. Let me just take a look real quick. 999 game facts. Alright, evil NCR. Thank you for your guide. Steam engine room. Is this... Okay, wait, hold on. Turn right, touch the stairs, blah, blah, blah. Use the wheel, send the box to the ground. Control panel. Put the panel, it'll activate, collect the box filled with coal. Turn left and touch the 3 round shapes on the right. Use the coal on them to put it in the furnace. Wait, what? Okay, I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Wait, huh? What do you mean? Now collect box filled with coal. Turn left, touch the 3 round shapes on the right. Okay. Oh, am I on the opposite side of them? Okay, this is how I... This is confusing. There's a hole that'll let us put coal into the furnace. Maybe we can get some coal in there and set it on fire. Okay, let's do it. Great. That's the last of it. No coal left in the wooden box. And nothing. Great. Well, I guess I should have expected that. Why would just throwing coal into a cold furnace do anything? Ah, well, a man can dream. Junpei, explain it to me again. You're planning to stoke the furnace with coal, which will heat the water stored up there and make steam, which will then drive something else. Am I correct? In other words, you want to generate enough pressure with the steam to power the turbine. And drive the steam engine, right? Yeah, I guess that's the gist of it. Well, in that case, this isn't enough coal. This furnace is enormous. So we're gonna need a whole hell of a lot more coal than this. Very well then, if 3 of us work together, then we should manage to fill it much faster. I want to help too. Man, I totally didn't even see her walk up. Are you feeling up to that? Yes. Yeah, right. You look like you're one stiff breeze away from falling over, June. I think you better rest some more, alright? But no arguing. You need your rest, so you just stay there. We'll handle this. Okay. I understand. Alright, time for some manly work. Let's get this coal into those furnaces. Great. Man, this is a lot of work. Alright, I think this should be sufficient. Alright, now we just gotta light it. Junpei, hand me your matches. What makes you think I have matches? I see. Then how are we gonna light it? Perhaps there's a device nearby that will allow us to remotely ignite the coal. Let's take a look, shall we? Some sort of ignition device, huh? Okay. Okay, maybe the thing with the weird lights. Yeah, you. Oh yeah, they're all green now. Huh. I wonder why these lights are like this. When I went by earlier, I think the 2 columns on the right were lit up red. You're right. But it seems they're all yellow now. I would imagine that indicates something is ready to activate, wouldn't you? Let's do it. Is this? I think it might be. It probably is. I think this is how we might ignite the furnace. That means that if we move that thing down... Alright, let's do it. Here we go. Hey Junpei, Ace, look at this. There's big gears turning under the boiler here. Huh? Yay! Ooh, they got things. The gears. The metal gears. They're spinning. What the hell are you guys waiting for? Let's start looking. Give me that gold disc. Let's go. Bronze disc. Okay. No. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to go over here. There we go. Silver disc. The silver disc. It has a bunch of lines on it, but the red ones really stand out, right? The red ones, huh? The gold disc. It has a number of lines engraved on it. I can make out 3 colors here. Red, blue, and black. I wonder what they mean. The bronze disc. It has a bunch of lines in it. In 3 different colors, red, blue, and black. Alright. We combine them? No. Okay. I think we just used them on the panel. Which I think is right here. Looks like this thing unlocks the door. There's a depression here that looks like it's the outline of 3 circles, laid on top of each other in a triangle. Maybe if we put those 3 discs we found into this thing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's stick them in. Huh? That's odd. Nothing's happening. Maybe you're, I don't know, putting them in the wrong places? Perhaps you have them facing the wrong directions. Perhaps you just totally fucked up. You should rotate the discs to make some of the lines connect to one another. Dumbass. Well, no harm in trying. Instructions for operation. When the disc is clicked, it will rotate a certain amount. When the white arrow is clicked, the discs are switched. Please note when the discs are switched, the angles for the discs are reset. Thanks. Okay. So, I mean, obviously we just want the red part in the middle. But yeah, we need to swap some of these around. Yeah, that's obviously not right. Hold on. Just keep doing this until I figure out... ooh, this is promising. Yeah. The red lines on these discs. I think maybe I can make a star polygon with these. Yay! A blank void! You found it! The void! Well, how long have we been going? I suppose...
Yes! The door's open!
Suppose we'll end once we officially get out of here. Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. Ace seemed to share his excitement.
Alright, Junpei. Why don't you go get June now? Santa and I will keep an eye on this door.
Santa snorted.
Why do we need to do that? Even if it shuts, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again.
Well, I suppose that's true. Shall all 3 of us go and collect June then?
Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it.
He still seemed irritated by something, however, and sat down on the stairs petulantly.
So are you only interested in being contrary?
Ace sighed with the air of a long-suffering parent.
Alright, I'll go get June. I'll be right back.
He gave a quick nod to Ace and Santa and dashed off down the stairs. Before long, he was back on the first floor, next to the conveyor belt and June.
Oh, Jumpy!
As he drew closer, she stood up slowly.
Are you okay?
He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there was no hiding the genuine concern in his voice.
Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry.
June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish.
Let me check.
Just to make sure, he reached out and put his hand against her forehead.
Good. You're feeling a lot better.
She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but still wasn't down to what seemed normal to him.
Are you sure you're alright?
He had to be sure. June gave him a look.
Oh, you're such a warrior, Jumpy. Oops, I mean, warrior.
What? June giggled. He wasn't sure if she just made a joke or not, but it wasn't a very good one. Seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. If she was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead.
Alright, let's go.
Go where?
Oh, right, I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so...
Great! Let's go!
June clasped her hands and nodded urgently. They headed back to the exit, but on their way they found...
Oh, it's...
Santa?
Santa was sitting on the stairs. He was, however, holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and Jun slowed down and finally stopped in front of him.
What are you looking at?
Santa answered without looking up, his voice quiet.
It's a photo. It's my sister.
Sister? Santa, you've got a sister?
Santa simply nodded.
Yeah. Kid was cute as a button.
June cocked her head, confused.
She was only about an inch tall then?
Santa glared at her.
Oh, sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like a half inch.
Santa didn't smile or laugh.
Sorry.
Why are you looking at it?
He simply turned back to his picture and spoke.
I was her Santa Claus.
Wait, what?
The sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. Oh my god, he actually is Santa Claus. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either.
Have you ever heard the story of the two Santa Clauses?
Oh, here we go.
It goes that a long time ago, there were two Santas. One of them wore white, and the other one wore black. The white Santa gave presents to good kids, and the black Santa played tricks on bad kids. They went on like that for a while, but eventually the black Santa's tricks started to get worse and worse. Pretty soon, the white Santa couldn't stand it anymore, and he stabbed the black Santa to death. When he stabbed the other Santa, the white Santa got blood all over his clothes. And that's why, these days, his clothes are red. You could say that red is all that's left of the black Santa.
Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. That story was just so weird. June was staring at Santa, sadness plain on her face. He continued.
I wonder which Santa I am. The white Santa or the black Santa?
Ah, your clothes have both of them. So who knows? Yeah, Tira, I think you made that up.
Aw.
All right, let's go.
Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back in his pocket and headed back up the stairs, taking them two at a time. Huh? Junpei and Jun looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say.
Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on!
Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love that he actually brings up a thing about Santa. They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. What was all that about Santa? He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired.
Oh, you're finally back.
Ah, you're finally awake. Skyrim intro begins. The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern.
Sorry we took so long.
Maybe a little concern. Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time. How would that... Wouldn't they would still be in the same position, right? Whatever. Just kind of poke the discs real quick.
Let's go.
It'd be funny if it played the "you found it" thing again. In single file, they walked through. After walking for nearly 15 feet, it's not that far, they found themselves in front of a metal door. It opened easily enough, and they passed through it as well. Great. It's almost like it wasn't worth mentioning. A new room stretched out before them. Oh. Oh, do we have to do two puzzle rooms in a row?
Is this a warehouse?
Oh, I think we do. Okay, so this will be a good place to end anyway.
No, I believe this is the cargo room. This must be where they store all of this vessel's freight.
Ace. Yeah, warehouse, cargo room. Why does... Whatever. Why does it matter?
There wooden crates everywhere. I wonder how old they are.
Junpei, Ace, and June had stopped unconsciously, pausing to take in their new surroundings. Santa's voice broke through their momentary trance.
Well, we probably ought to start with finding the exit, right? Let's get going.
Okay, so that'll be a good place to leave off, I think. Wow. Seek a way out. Yeah, I forgot that this route is just 2 escape rooms in a row. So let's go ahead and save. Yeah, I thought you just got out. Yeah, we went from 1 escape room into another escape room. So we don't get to meet up with the rest of the gang quite yet. So I think that'll be all for tonight. So thanks for joining. And I'll see you next time for the cargo room. Yeah. That's all. Bye.